Hello, hello to all of my motivators family. How are you all doing? Happy Saturday. Happy first Saturday of May. And I wanted to come on and to give a encouraging, motivating topic to start off your month on the right foot. I hope your May has been amazing so far. And I wanted to greet those who are in the chat. Hi, Real Odds and Evens. How are you doing? Welcome. And Charlene of Chill Will Crew. Shout out to my mods. I really appreciate y'all. So, today we're going to be talking about disrespect. And I think that everybody at a certain point in life gets disrespected. So, we're going to talk about disrespect because I think that it's really important to come to that space in our lives that we understand that I don't have to put up with disrespect. I don't have to deal with this. I can do so many other things, what we're going to talk about today. So I just want you all to know that you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to allow disrespect. Okay. And the first thing that I have to say when we're talking about disrespect is sometimes there are individuals that may not understand that they are disrespecting you because everybody comes from different backgrounds. They deal with different things. And for them, it may not seem like something disrespectful, but you have to know yourself and you have to know your boundaries. You have to know what you're going through. You have to know what you want to do and what you don't. So, with that being said, even if another person may not feel that they're disrespecting you, but if you feel disrespected, you have to allow yourself to have those feelings. You have to allow yourself to speak up and advocate for yourself. And I say this to my ladies, I say this to the gentlemen, always with the utmost respect that I share things with my motivators family. And I want to say that because depending on your upbringing, depending on your personality, there are some that don't know how to speak up for themselves. Um, Either they don't know how to, they don't have the tools, they lack the confidence, they lack the courage to be able to speak up and to say what they're dealing with and how they feel. And I just want to say to everybody, no matter what is your background, regardless of your personality, nobody deserves to disrespect you, but it's also what we allow. And that is what we're going to talk about and really go into this because there are a lot of times where we allow people to do too much. You know, sometimes people will be doing the most. Hey, Leonica, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Saturday. There's a lot of people that will be doing the most. And we can go through all the people that we know in this life. It could be, your relatives. So let's start with that, you know, um, disrespectful relatives. Do you have some in your, in your circle or people that you know, relatives? Notice I didn't say family because family are the ones that choose you. I'll never stop saying that because that's something that I have to remind myself of as well. That just because you may choose them, it doesn't mean they choose you back. So, with that being said, talking about disrespectful relatives, and they will be disrespectful, they will be controlling, they will try to separate you from your money. They'll try schemes. They'll be backbiting, jealous, manipulative. We have to be so careful. You have to be cognizant, and you also have to pay attention to the energy of your relatives. Now, just because people are your relatives, it doesn't mean they have your best interests at heart. It doesn't mean they care about you. It does not mean that they love you just because they are your relatives. For some people, that has been a new concept. And for others, you may have known that for a long time. Regardless of where you are with all of that, I want you all to know that no matter how much you try, you cannot force your relatives to respect you. You may want that. I know that was a thing for me for a long time. I wanted my relatives to be respectful, and respect me, respect my boundaries, do the things that you need to do because they say out of their mouth how much they love you, how much they care about you. And what it really is, relatives, unfortunately, will only support you as much as they can know your business, or they'll only support you as much as you give them money or as much as you do something for them. But the moment that you are not there doing what they want you to do, because sometimes they can be very controlling, our relatives controlling of our lives, and if they're not happy with what you're doing, the relationships that you are in, your financial situation, or whatever, if they can't use you for some reason, now here comes all of the disrespect. Here comes all of the drama and all of those things. But I did want to say this. It's just because you have relatives that are disrespectful, it doesn't mean you have to keep them around. It doesn't mean that you have to go into this next part. Don't let people know your business. Now, how many of us, we talk too much, and I'm not just speaking to my motivators family, I'm speaking to myself as well, because there's a lot of times where we'll be so excited about something or be in this good space and talking about our dreams, our hope, our aspirations, and our dreams, blah, blah, blah. And you'll be so happy about that. And here comes your relatives that are Betty Downers, that are negative Nancy's, or so miserable about their own life and what they didn't do because they made poor decisions and they want to poke holes in your dreams. You really have to be careful about what you share with your relatives, And I say that in hopes that maybe one person out there will listen to this message and really take this to heart and stop expecting for their relatives to change. Because that used to be me, without a doubt, undubitably, it's not something that you can make your relatives be on board and be who they're not. We can't make people change. We cannot make people love us. And unfortunately, in the relatives thing, being a blood relatives does not mean that they are going to be there for you. And that's hurtful. It's hard. It's like a stab in your heart when things that you kind of expect, because this is your blood relatives, like we got the same blood and this is how you treat me. It really affects you and can make you feel some type of way, but you have to realize that not everybody is on board with personal growth and changes. Some people just want to be miserable. They want to stay in that miserable space and they want to keep you miserable. They want you to do what they want to, because I hate that, but it does exist with some individuals, with their relatives, that they are so jaded from their past, or because they're older and they went through things, they feel like you are going through the same issues. And there's a thing called personal growth when it comes to us motivators. There's a thing called personal growth that we have to be in the position to say, I want to grow, I want to heal, I want to be better, I want to improve, I want to be happy. And change is not readily accepted. And we have to understand that because they're your relatives and not your family, that is the difference. See, People who are your family are the people who choose you back, and they don't have to be related to you by blood. I've had friends be a better sister, or I've had complete strangers mother me and grandmother me, grandfather me, spiritually support me, have stand in the gap for me, whereas my own relatives do not. And that's a tough one. So, my heart is always open. I'm always here to give support and, to all of my motivators family for us to not be fools. You know, don't be fools, don't be used, and just go by the words that people will be saying. Our relatives will be always with the lip service thing, right? I care about you, I love you, I'm here for you. But what are you actively doing in order to show that you really do support? Okay, it's just something to think about. Now, don't allow disrespect from your spouse, significant other, okay? This is a very, sensitive topic. And I do understand that and realize that just because you may be with somebody, it doesn't mean they want to be with you. Sometimes all the writing is on the wall. There's so much red flags going on. And because you've been with somebody for years, or because you have children together, or because of your financial situation, you feel like you have to endure it. And if somebody cannot respect you, especially somebody romantically, your heart is involved. You're a human being. Shout out to my ladies and my gentlemen who really are loving individuals, caring, considerate, compassionate, kind. You would do anything for um, your partner. You do anything for your spouse or significant other, but would they do the same thing for you? That is the thing that we really have to pay attention to, that, because I know that I have been in that space before in my life, always giving, right? Always giving to your romantic relationship. You show up, you give financially, you give, to the household, keeping the household clean and neat. You give in supporting, giving emotional support. You give in, just being caring, being a good listener. You give, sexually. You do all of these things in a romantic relationship, and you are there, but is it matched? And not that they're going to be able to give what you give, but we have to be very careful about romantic relationships and not allowing them to disrespect us, you know not even being kind or considerate, talking to you any type of way, raising their voice, not showing up. These are very important things. That it's a very sensitive topic, and I do understand that. But at the same time, that's not going to block me from saying what I need to say. Just because you're in a romantic relationship with somebody, that doesn't give them the right to talk to you any type of way. And I've heard the thought that people will say, oh, you know how I feel. I married you, right? Or I've been with you all of these years, but that does not mean anything. That just being together with somebody for years doesn't mean that that person is feeling loved. See, love is an action word. And if somebody is not showing up for you, and you're together, that's your husband, your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, and you don't feel heard, you don't feel seen, they talk to you any type of way, there's no phone calls in the middle of the day, or text, or even a kind word, like even saying hello. Here in comes ghosting you, not talking, having an attitude, the entitlement of feeling like, you have to do things for the other. We have to be really careful in that. You have to be careful that, just the same way that you put in the work in the dating time, or when you first got together, dressing up for each other, doing kind deeds, buying each other gifts. keeping yourself up, looking nice. That's the same thing that you need to continue all throughout the relationship. And right, real odds and evens. Because sometimes the disrespect is all the way there, you know. And I know for myself, being completely honest, I've had to check myself too in the relationship. You get comfortable sometimes in a romantic relationship. Get comfortable. Because you get used to them doing something, for instance, cooking or cleaning or giving money or whatever it is, or being loyal. Have you said to the person, I appreciate you being in my life. You matter to me. I even saying that those three words, I love you, it goes far. You don't know what that person could be dealing with, even if you are living with somebody. You don't know what's going on in their mind. You don't know what they're coping with on a day-to-day basis. You don't know the treatment and abuse that happens when they go outside of the home. Are you a safe space for your spouse or significant other to fall? Can they talk to you about things without it being like you feel personally attacked? Or if you have something to say, do they always make it seem like, oh, because it doesn't apply to me, it doesn't matter? If something matters to one person, it should matter to you. I'm just saying it needed to be said. So also we have to be very careful about disrespect in friendships. Now, having a great, your guy friends, girlfriends, your mate, your homie, whatever it is that you want to call them, your friends. And I mean ride or die, real, true blue friends. I don't mean the fake support. I don't mean associates. I mean friends. Sometimes when you're around people for an extended period of time, friends can start taking you for granted, not giving back what you give, because you can be a really great friend to somebody, but you have to ask yourself, am I being a good friend to them? Do I do kind deeds? Do I ask, how are they doing? Or are you going through anything? How can I support you? Being a friend is goes on both sides. It's not just you expecting a friend, and that applies to all relationships. It's not just saying you want this with your relative, or you want this with your spouse, significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, or friend, or we're going to get into workmates or other people, but it goes both sides. It's not just you wanting everything. And sometimes people get in the mode of always expecting, wanting, receiving, and not thinking maybe that person is tired or they're going through something. Do you apply compassion, understanding? Are you a good listener? Do you think about how another person could be feeling, or do you always make it about yourself? That's a question to ponder. Okay. So let's go into the work space, workmates, maybe business associates, business partners. There's a lot of disrespect that happens in the workplace, expecting for you to always work extra hours, or not respecting your personal space, or not asking you if you're on board with doing something. Are you talking to a person, or are you talking at them? Hey, Lovey, how are you doing, beloved? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Um, do you talk to people, or do you talk at them? I think that's something that even I had to take a step back and really think about that when it came to all my relationships. Do you talk to people like ordering people like they're a child, or with entitlement, or just I can say or do whatever you want? And of course you can talk to people any way you want to, you can treat people any way you want to, but don't expect for those same people to deal with you anymore. Because just like you have the right to do what you want, other people have the right to not deal with you. Other people have the right to voice how they feel, how you treat them. And, you know, you really it takes a mature woman and it takes a mature man to not think, oh, I could do whatever I want, I could say whatever I want and think that there's no consequences. Just like we get our feelings hurt sometimes, other people can too. And you got to check yourself and say, oh, I was just rude, or I haven't been kind, or I have not been supportive, I haven't been kind. And it takes I really have to give my props to the ladies and the gentlemen that know when, okay, I that wasn't nice, or that was rude, or I do need to spend some more quality time with this person. There's a lot of ways that we can be disrespectful to other people. It's a lot of ways. And if you really think about it, are you there? Are you a good listener? Do you provide emotional support? Or do you say, oh, I don't care about emotions. I don't care about feelings. So, like, whatever. No, that's not the way. Because when you get matched that same energy, what if something that's important to you and someone says, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. See, it doesn't feel so good. One thing that I had to learn as I've matured and I've healed, that it doesn't always have to be that I like it or I understand. There's a thing called empathy and compassion and understanding and just listening to somebody. We don't have to always try to solve someone's problems, but just being there and letting somebody know I'm here for you and you can vent how you are feeling. And the last point that I want to talk about is, when we talk about, disrespect, and we know this, me being a content creator, I speak to content creators, even people who are not content creators. Social media has so much disrespect for so many reasons on so many different levels. There's disrespect every day on this Red app and all other social media sites. There's trolls, manipulators, characters, liars, narcissists, people who need to take medication. And I'm not saying it to make fun of people. I'm just speaking what it is. There's a lot of people that come on social media and they need some mental help. They need to speak to a doctor, a psychiatrist, get some medicine. And it's the truth. If you have, whatever um, what is it called, mental illness, that needs to be checked. And I've said it many times that there are so much people on social media that have undiagnosed mental illness. And just because somebody has not accepted that they're bipolar or schizophrenic, um, a narcissist, whatever, a sociopath, just because you may not receive things, it doesn't mean that's not who you are. See, part of growing up means being conscious of how you treat other people and knowing that there's consequences to what you do. And people really mess around and find out, because on social media, people will put a restraining order. Now that you can get put on criminal charges for slander. All of the people who dox people. There's a lot of stuff that happens on social media that should never happen. People who troll people, and it's all because they're very unhappy in their lives. They have never grown up. They have never dealt with their own personal issues. And then they come on social media, come behind an avatar, come behind on your shorts or your videos, your live stream, and want to tell you how you should feel. Don't let these disrespectful people controlling and using people get you stuck, make you feel unhappy. Never let other people make you feel that you're not enough. And I mean that from my heart, from my core. Don't let other people tell you who you are. You have to know yourself. You have to be confident. You have to have strength. from within. You can't fall down because of another person's opinion and what they think and what they don't like. You have to know yourself. You have to love yourself and believe in yourself. And don't let people run over you and use you like a rug, like a doormat. Don't let people use you, and that includes all relationships, whatever relationship that there can be that exists, from your children to your spouse to your boyfriend to your workmates to social media to friends, anybody that you encounter. Don't let people disrespect you. Don't let people use you. And don't let anybody convince you that you're something that you're not. You have to believe in yourself first. Love has to start from within you, and you have to work on your own confidence. Can't take everything personally. And I get it that when people do things and it's rude, I do believe that you need to check people and don't let people talk to you any type of way. But at the end of the day, it's about you living your life. And I know one thing for me, regardless of people's opinions, regardless of who likes me or supports me, I could be talking to one person or a million people. I know my story. I know the hills and the valleys and the things that I have overcome in the past. And I know what I overcome on a day-to-day basis, on the days when I don't want to get up, on the days that I don't feel like being strong, and the days I want to give up and I don't. See, but other people don't know of our struggles, our hurdles, and people will clown you and laugh at you because you may be struggling or going through something or sad or something. But that's why you got to reinforce, reiterate. You got to speak over your life. You have to speak over your life. Don't let anybody tell you who you are. You have to know you're loved. You have to know you're blessed. You have to know that you're capable and able and intelligent, worthy, desirable. You're everything, okay? And don't let people who don't have that inside of them make you feel like you don't have it inside of you. You're quite the catch. Don't let anybody tell you any differently. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Marlene Motivates, your life coach. And you know what we say over here. Just know it. Just breathe it and be it and live your best life. I will see you all on the next one.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it and be it, and live your best life.
forgive me. I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me. I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you?